Good morning, Groovers, and good morning, Vietnam. How are we all? I hope you're all doing very well, and I hope you have a bloody good weekend, because it is Saturday, and yeah, time to relax, guys, and kick back, watch some YouTube. All right, so I found this place here that we can do breakfast for about, what is it? You can do an egg toast bacon for 55,000. Add a coffee to that, you're looking about 100,000. That's not bad, guys, that's pretty good. The same breakfast you would pay in Australia would cost you 15, 20 bucks. Easy, easy. What else we got here? Avocado egg toast. I saw something on YouTube the other day. The girl was screaming about getting charged $45 for the exact same thing.
I'm trying not to laugh. I got a vegan eggplant sandwich. I paid $40, guys. $40.
It was just didn't even have the egg actually, it was smashed avo on 2 bits of bread. She got charged 45 in Sydney. So that is one of the most surprising things for me, is price difference is staggering between here and the West. I know I've ramped on about this, but it's better than I even thought. And I'll be honest, I think it's far cheaper than Thailand, and I'll be able to put that to the test very soon. But yeah, I think Vietnam has definitely got a nose ahead on Thailand in terms of cost.
Bye.
Bye, come on. Alrighty, we have finished our breakfast. Wasn't bad. Next time I'll probably grab the bacon and eggs or something. I settled for the banh mi and a coffee, 60 grand. But tomorrow I think I might swing by there and grab a traditional breakfast. On this episode of Urban Insights, I'm going to take you up north along the coast here and show you a different patch of grass. We'll get out of the tourist area, but I wanted to chat about the four surprising things that I noticed when I came here, unexpected. And the first one was actually the cost. Now, I knew it was going to be cheap, but I didn't think it was going to be as cheap as it is. Let me just cross this road here. You can see here, we're heading north. And you know what, the weather's actually come good. I'm juggling a camera and a salted coffee at the moment, so bear with me. So yeah, it's the number one surprising factor was the cost. And as I said, cheaper across the board. And that makes a big difference if you're on the lower end of the budget, which we are, and I am right now. Until I start making some decent income, I still have to watch my money. One thing I will say is that I'll be in Bangkok for Christmas. A little sad to be away from the kids this year, but the last couple of years have been pretty average anyway, because I separated 3 years ago, so Christmas isn't what it used to be. And I don't have a big family back in Australia. I'm actually a German immigrant, and I don't have a large family. I have my siblings, I have 2 siblings and my mother, and that's it. So we don't have a big family there. last couple of years, my parents are out in Queensland and I'm in Perth, so we never really did the big Chrissy thing. Chrissy always revolved around pretty much my ex-in-laws. And as much as I loved those guys, you know, you always felt little, yeah, it always felt a little strange, Christmas, for me, because you're surrounded, okay, I had my kids, but I never really had a big family of my own. So, hence probably why I don't feel so isolated when I'm traveling around or living in another country. I don't feel isolated at all because I'm used to it, to be honest. I'm totally used to it. All right, we're coming up to, there's it's like a public pool. Oh, actually, it's not public, I think it's private. There's a pool up here that's on the beach. I've got to say, the weather's come good today. There is rain about, but I think we've picked the perfect window to do what we're doing here, because the rain tends to come in at about 2 o'clock. So you get a little bit in the morning, it'll stop, come back around midday, 2 o'clock. Right now, it's actually quite warm, very humid. I could go for a swim right now. Check this, guys. An old hotel. What is this? Restaurant? Look at the age of these buildings. Look at this thing. This looks like it used to be an old hotel. Let's have a look. What do we got here? Look at this. Back in Rome. Interesting, man. I'll tell you what, man, if you're a fan of architecture, you're gonna love Vietnam, because there is some very freaking cool buildings. A lot of retro Gothic architecture that's still around. You know, they're still here. They haven't knocked them all down like they do in the West, or especially in Perth. We seem to just smash all our classic buildings down and build the new modern slapped up buildings. So I think this used to be a hotel. It looks more like almost like a function centre now. Look at this, people are actually swimming on the beach today. It's actually beautiful. Look at the water. That's actually the cleanest I've seen the water in a long time. Normally it has a bit of a brown tinge to it, but it is looking very, very spiffy. Okay, we are heading, you can see here, we're heading to the north end, the very end of the Da Nang coastline here. You can see it stretches way out there. It's a massive stretch of beach, actually, very big. I thought Perth was big. Actually, Perth is just as big, but yeah, it gives me Perth vibes, actually, this place. Definitely feel at home here in terms of the beach. Like, have a look at it. Maybe more Gold Coast, actually. Come to think of it, Perth's coastline's way bigger, but this is pretty special, guys. Pretty special. You won't be disappointed. I was a little put off with Da Nang at first, with the size of it, but you know, you're very contained here. You know, it's big, but it's kind of not, if that makes sense. And the second surprising thing, that I noticed here in Da Nang was, I guess it's the culture. These guys are, they're actually very sweet people. And it took me a while to kind of see that. It took me, you know, it takes time to get out into the communities and really look. You know, it's very easy for us to go to another country, or anyone. When you go to another country, you seem to have this filter on. And we look at things differently, especially coming from the West. We have these preconceived ideas, and when we see something that we don't like, or we're not used to, more so, you know, you kind of stick your nose up a little bit. But you've got to remove that lens, I believe. That's what I do. I kind of move that rose-coloured lens, and I look through any negativity. But anyway, I digress. Back to culture. Yeah, the culture here was, it got me by surprise, and I'm very drawn into the culture. I want to learn more. I like it. So the other one that surprised me is their sense of community over here. And what I mean by that is really how they look after each other. And I've got to say, one thing I've noticed here, I haven't seen one bum on the streets. I haven't seen one pauper on the streets begging for money. I haven't seen anyone sleeping in a park. Go figure. I'm living in one of the cheapest countries in the world, and there's not a single homeless person around. No one's going hungry in this country. And that's because they look after each other. You know, I've seen it. I've seen how they treat each other, how the communities act and look after each other. It's quite amazing, really. And not to get too negative, but yeah, even when I go down to markets, I walk down these little streets and just, you know, you kind of absorb it all. Look at this thing's flipped over. So whoever owns this obviously has not been back since the storms. And there's a lot of expensive gear in there. I can see really expensive ropes and nets. I mean, this stuff can't be cheap. Now we're coming right to the end here. And this looks like, what is this sign? There used to be a restaurant here, maybe? My Khe Beach. Or, oh no, maybe that's just a public sign. So this is where we're at. You can Google that. So we're up here, you can see the pagoda over there, up on the hill. I went there the other day and got some shots. It's pretty touristy. I picked a really bad day to go up there. We went up on a Sunday, and it was a big mistake. I think the next time I get up there, I'll make sure I go up during the week. So you can see here, it's another world, guys. We are well and truly out of the touristy area. But yeah, sense of community, totally surprising. Xinjiang. Again, I've always had a sense of community myself, and sadly, I just felt that was something in Australia. Don't all jump on me about this, but you know, I'm that neighbour that's gonna have a beer with you, have a chat with you, and say hello. And I've lived in some places, some beautiful areas in West Australia, where the neighbour, you know, I hadn't spoken to a neighbour for 8 years or something, you know, or the whole time. It's bizarre, you know. You live in such a beautiful, lucky country and no one's celebrating it. And that says something. You know, that in itself is a message. What's going on when we can't be happy enough to have a sense of community and care about our neighbours. And when I see that in countries like Vietnam, it really makes you wonder, you know, what's going on? What do you think, guys? Tell me in chat. What do you think's going on with our sense of community in the West? And I branch that out to our friends in America, UK, Europe. You know, we're all supposed to be in the lucky country, but no one really celebrates that. I don't know, that's just my experience. I'm sure it still exists, and I know it does, just hasn't existed in the areas that I've lived in, so, oh yeah. And when you see it in a country like Vietnam that's supposedly poor and underdeveloped, whatever you want to call it, third world. I'd hardly call these countries third world, but you know what I'm saying. We look at these countries as poor countries, and they're not. They're rich. They're rich in heart. They may not be rich in money, but they're rich in heart. And I know what I'd rather have. I'd rather be surrounded by my family and love than material possessions and money. And I'm being honest with you guys about that. I've never been a materialistic person. I grew up poor. We grew up very poor. 4 boys, single mother, living on the government system back in Australia in the early days. And I worked really hard to put myself in a better position than I was, and my children definitely grew up in a much more privileged situation than I did, and I'm pretty proud of that fact, and I'm happy that Australia was able to afford me that opportunity. But that's becoming harder and harder, and I really do fear for my children and their ability to be able to provide for their children like we did if things keep going the way they are. I think we need some major changes, political and financial reform is what the West needs, but it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I hate to say it, I don't want to be pessimistic, but the multinationals of the world have got too much power and control, and they control the politicians. I mean, it's been the same for hundreds and hundreds of years. I can't see how it's going to change now. If anything, they're going to gain more control, and they have. But anyway, I digress. We're not going to get into some conspiracy-filled ideological, political conversation, but you know where I'm getting at, guys. The conversation had to steer into this because we're comparing, you know, all we can do is make comparisons to our country and the country I'm living in now. And although it's not spit polished and perfect, it's not this dystopian, you know, dream city. It's still got its rough edge to it, but I don't feel any less at home here. I can tell you that now. I feel very comfortable, and I will be back, and I'll be back for sure to Vietnam. This is still going to be one of my little home bases, there is no doubt, and there is so much to see and experience. We've only just touched the surface. Wow, guys. See what happens when you venture around. We just found this temple and it is out of this world, to be honest. It's quite the vibe here. We're just at the north of the beach here. You need to come down here and check this out. This is an old temple, man. I'm trying to keep quiet and be respectful here, but man. Sorry about the camera movement stuff. I've got two cameras going on here. Trying to get some shots with this one. Anyway, hang 10, I'll be right with you. Alrighty, just found this temple over here, guys. I tell you what, man. I went in there and this is right on the outskirts here, up the northern end of Da Nang Beach. And yeah, it's quite the vibe in there. I'll play you some of the music that I captured in there. It was, yeah, very, very different. Very different. Lots of idols in there, lots of idols. Anyway, let's get on to the fourth most surprising thing I found here in Vietnam is actually the safety. And I know I've done a video about is Da Nang safe and pointed out just some things for tourists to watch out for, but let me tell you, I've never felt safer. I've actually felt safer here than I do in some of the suburbs in Perth. And there are some areas in Perth, even in West Australia, I wouldn't walk around with a camera like this right now. And look where I am here, guys. I'm right out in the outskirts here. You know what? It's funny, I reckon that maybe some of these US bases were positioned around here. I'm going to do my homework, but if I was to put a military base around here, I'd definitely tuck something in this area. Almost get that feeling up here. I can see some of the age of these buildings, man. They would have been around during the 60s for sure. I can see it from here, some older buildings tucked in here. Definitely getting a different vibe here. Feeling some age here for sure, especially coming from that temple. I had to get out of there. I didn't bring my spray and there were bloody mozzies all over me, man. Got to be real careful with the dengue fever here. Again, I don't want to sound like a hypochondriac, but you just got to be careful. Dengue fever's nothing to laugh at. I'm always conscious because the mozzies love me. But anyway, yeah, the safety, it is absolutely safe here. You're not going to have any dramas. And I don't know what it is. I did see some cops. That might be them there. Funny enough, guys, I saw the cops and I think that's them over there in the van. I won't focus in on them too much. I just wanted to get this intersection. But they were pulling over foreigners on scooters the other day because we were up here, I was up here filming and I saw them out there just pulling scooters over and they weren't pulling locals over. Let me give you the tip. And we did stop. We stopped here to get some shots, but it was raining. And they pulled this girl over. She was a white girl, a Westerner. They pulled a Western girl over the other day, and I can guarantee you she didn't have a license, and they let her go. So I don't know what they were looking for. They pulled her over. Maybe they've asked to check her driver's license, and that's about it. Maybe they looked at her ID, but they let her go straight away. I'm going to go and have a look what this guy's doing here. It looks like he's going for crustaceans, but I'll turn my camera off and out of respect, and ask him if I can film. So it looks like we've got maybe some bait fish here. I don't know what's going on here. I reckon that's for bait. Well, I don't know where he's getting them. Maybe he's netting these out here. I wouldn't be eating this stuff, but yeah, look at that. I reckon this is for bait. Oh, he's got it on ice. All on ice, God. Yeah, look at that. They're just getting this, look at this, just weeding through this stuff. I reckon this is coming out of nets, guys. But yeah, that's his job. They're definitely selling these at the market. I've seen these at the market. Yeah, these ones here, yeah. Hey, this one you eat? You eat this? Oh, for fishing? For the fish? Ah. Yeah. So you know, no eat? You don't eat this? You eat? Ah. Oh, for the bait. Oh, for the shrimp. Ah, you see, yeah. Ah, shrimp. The little shrimp. Yeah. Nice. And you net that, yeah. So this is the fishing area, guys. Well, you have a good day. Yeah. Xin chào. I love Vietnam. Good Vietnam. Yeah, that's his job, guys. Well, I don't know what they're doing with this stuff. I'd say that is for bait. And those fish there, he's got them on ice. I think he's using them for, I think he was trying to tell me they were for shrimp. I don't know, but I won't be buying those little fish in the market. I've seen those fish in the markets, man. I reckon they're definitely selling those in the markets. That is a cop over there. I'm pretty sure they're cops pulling people over. I'm not gonna film it, but there's a van over there, and that was the exact van that were pulling cops over. Now, all right, guys, don't get judgy. This is the very end. This is where all the fishing vessels are, and I've been dying to get up here and film this. The beach is looking pretty average, but this is not a holiday spot right here. This is where all the fishermen are doing their business. But I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up here because I want to break out the big camera and just say that the most surprising part of this city is the safety. And as long as you're using your noggin, you're not getting plastered and stumbling around in the middle of the night, you're going to be fine. Because no matter where you are, if you put yourself in a vulnerable position, you're gonna get robbed. I guarantee it. Anywhere, that's anywhere. And I know of people who have been robbed because they was plastered and acting like bloody noblets. So all in all, this is a very safe city, and you're going to love it. I highly recommend you come to Da Nang. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it dearly, but we will be back, guaranteed. And I will definitely come back and live in Da Nang for sure when the time is right. At the moment, we're just floating. We're floating around. But we will definitely be back here. You guys take it easy. Hit that sub button if you're, hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel, and jump in the comments and let us know what you think, guys. Tell us what we can do better on the channel. Do you like these walk and talks and tours that I'm doing, the more casual versions of my videos? I hope you do, because I really enjoy them. But you know the old saying, you gotta like the character. If you don't like the character behind the camera, then what are we doing? And I hope you enjoy these these videos, guys, because I enjoy making them for you. Anyway, you guys take care, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next Urban Insights. And you may be surprised where we'll end up next. You guys all take care. And we're just going to end on these fishermen out there doing their thing. Looks like they're heading out to their capsule, like these guys. And that's how it's done here in Vietnam. Stay tuned for the next episode. And do us a favour, everyone. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way you can support us right now.